Hey guys, Chelsea here. Now in this video, I'm actually going to be looking at every single, just looking at lots of premium squads, and basically saying that if they're in the wrong campaign or not. Like there's some squads which I think are in completely the wrong campaign, or they shouldn't be premium squads to begin with. Now I'm going to exclude reskins like the Jumbo, like the Panzer IV-Js and stuff like this, but I'm going to look entirely on squads that, in my opinion, should be in other campaigns. In my opinion, they should be in other campaigns for certain reasons, and I'm going to explain which campaign they should be in. And basically, yeah, just looking at all of that kind of stuff, or if they shouldn't exist to begin with, because there are a few that probably should not exist. I'm going to exclude stuff like the VG squad, anyways, as well, because that's really just, yeah. Anyways, that being said, let's start with Moscow, move all the way to Normandy, Berlin, and then Tunisia. Now, let's start with the Soviets, because there is a lot to start with. I mean, you've got two offenders right here, the Lewis and the Valentine, right immediately. I'm just going to say, the Lewis, this should be in Tunisia. No question, it should be in Tunisia. The same with the Valentine. This tank should be in Tunisia, not Moscow. These need to be in Tunisia. The reason being is because if you look at Tunisia, the Allies don't have a big, they don't have the high capacity LMG that the Lewis would have been. If the Lewis was here instead of the BAR A2, I reckon it would have been a much, this probably would have been better received as an update. I mean, hell, it was a decent update in general, but, look at the other Axis and the Allies' weapons, The Axis, really good. Carcano, Panzer III-J, fine. MG34 is fine because there was not really many Italian LMGs. Here, again, Lee Enfield is fine, really well needed. Crusader is really good. BAR A2. Why? Why is this in, as well as this, the Valentine probably should end up in here. Either that or it should have been the Matilda, because, let's face it, there's not really many, it probably should have been replacement over the Daimler? Daimler? Can't say that. Fuck it out. Either that or it should have been a little bit later. Because if you look at the tanks, you've got the A13, and look at that, you've got the A13. Why is the A13, which is a cruiser, by the way, the starting tank? I need to get an armoured car. Why? I don't get that. I would say if this was the Valentine, or even the Matilda, that would be a better, I'd say that would be much better, in my opinion. Anyway, let's look at the Axis. There's actually, I don't think there's many for the Axis, which I think should be. The only real one I could say is this one, which, again, should be in Tunisia. The Beretta M1918 should be in Tunisia. Again, I would say the only downside to it is that where is it? There is a version of it. The OVP is in Tunisia as well. The OVP is in Tunisia. I think that's but you could make it as an alternative, 5.9. I can't remember what the damage is on the regular Beretta. Where is it? 5.7. So yeah, I guess maybe it's an upgrade. Is there actually much difference between it? I'm just have to check. I should have done it before. Not really much difference. A much higher rate of fire on the Beretta variant, though. So, yeah, I think, this could have been very interesting if it was the Beretta as well as this. The Beretta is move this one, move the OVP a little further forward, replace the MP40 here with the OVP, and then replace this with the Beretta M1918. That would have been so much cooler. It would have gotten rid of the issue of, oh my god, why do we have too many MP40? Why do we have MP40s in every single fucking campaign already? Anyways, that being said, let's move over to Normandy. For Normandy, there's an easy one: the Churchill. Why isn't this in Tunisia? Like, this was, everyone was saying this immediately when Tunisia was released. Why isn't this in Tunisia? Like, this was a thing people were expected to be in Tunisia on launch. And to make matters worse, right, the version in Normandy is a Tunisian version. This version lasts all combat in Tunisia. Like, if it was supposed to be realistic to Normandy, this would have been the Mark 7 Churchill, not the Mark III. The Mark III was outdated by 1944, so there's no reason this should be in Normandy. Like, why is it in Normandy over Tunisia? I don't even think there's actually anything for the Axis. Is there anything? Oh yeah, the Stug 3. I forgot about that. God, they really did. They really did not do well with the with the premium squad of this arse update. Stug 3 should honestly be in the campaign for, if not Tunisia, Normandy. It was the most common tank of the war for the Axis. It was the most common German tank of the war, and you're locking it behind a paywall. Why? Like, why is that? I don't get that. And finally, I think there's going to be one final one. The MP18 squad. Now, I would say the MP18 squad does make sense to be used in Normandy. But it could also have been used, you know, in Moscow. Because it probably was used in Moscow, to be honest. You know, maybe bump the MP40 and the MP38 a little bit further up. And added in this at level 5, maybe. Or maybe, you know, had the MP28 at level 5. Actually, no, this is probably a worse version of the MP18. I'd have the MP18 at level 5 or something like that. So, you know, because let's face it, the MP... What's it? Where is it? The the MP28 is one of the worst weapons in Tunisia, in my opinion. So in the game, it's one of the worst SMGs in my opinion. It's so slow. It does no damage, and it just I don't like it at all. Yeah, it should have been seen in either Moscow or Tunisia. Give these guys the MP18 again, or failing that, give them, or failing that, get rid of the MP28 and give them something else. But yeah, that was, what I think should have been in, Normandy, because there's not really much. Polish BAR, maybe in, in Moscow, maybe, but it probably would have it makes a lot more sense being in Normandy than the others. Armory MP, not really. Gavir 41's in basically every campaign, so that's fine, I guess. Bit lazy that it's the premium squad, but White Clean wasn't used in any of the things, save with the Johnson. Maybe the Johnson in Tunisia, but with it picking. This version of the BAR definitely, better as a premium squad in my opinion. So, yeah, bit nitpicky for Normandy, but yeah, there's not really much to say about Normandy actually. Let's go on to Berlin. For Berlin, there's actually a couple in my opinion, which is, well, there's really only one. This one, the M4A276. Why is this not in Normandy already? A 76 Sherman should already be in Normandy. I don't care that it's not an Easy 8, because there were other Shermans with the 76 that wasn't an Easy 8, but it should already be in Normandy by now. We've we've already got. I mean, we already have two. I know technically, but there is the Firefly, which is technically a 76 because the 17 pounder was a 76mm gun. But that's another premium squad. I'm talking about stuff that should be in the tech tree. And I do know about the M10. I know about the M10. I'm not denying the M10, but yeah, it should be. You know, this premium squad should definitely be in Normandy already. Like it should. There should be a version of the 76 Sherman in Normandy. For the Axis, I don't really see much. Like, there's not. Maybe the Labelle in Normandy, but again, nitpicky. The MP40-1 squad, though, I think. I don't know. It looks quite cool. It could be cool. You know, that does look quite good. I do like the dual magazine operation of the MP40-1, though. That is really cool. But yeah, I think, maybe that in, like, because I know it was in Moscow, but as a pre-order bonus, or a alpha bonus, and obviously it could work in Normandy, but that's more of a nitpick. Not really much other than the for Berlin, other than the M4A2. Anyways, let's move to Tunisia. The campaign which actually should have received the most out of any of these, but I don't know. Is there anything in Tunisia that was outdated, maybe? I don't know. For Tunisia allies, there actually isn't anything, in my opinion, that, again, Hurricane, fine. Moroccan auxiliaries, actually really awesome, in my opinion, because they have those daggers, which, that does look quite cool, the Moroccan dagger. And, of course, it has the, this unique carbine. And it looks quite cool. I'm just going to get rid of that to stop the engine noises. And, yeah, STEM Mark III makes sense that that's a premium squad because the STEM Mark III was one of the less issued stems. But for the Axis, again, not really much. The BF-110, the San Marino divisions, I don't know. But there's one squad, in my opinion, I think shouldn't be in the game. The FNAB squad. If you saw my FNAB video, you'll probably know my opinions on this. So I'm going to have to shit on the FNAB again. But I just think this weapon should not be in Tunisia. Not that it's a bad weapon in Tunisia, because I find it's a really good weapon in Tunisia. But because it wasn't even invented in Tunisia. By the time Tunisia was around, this thing wasn't even invented, and matters worse, it wasn't even issued until after the fall of Mussolini. So really, this thing shouldn't be in Tunisia because Mussolini was still around at this point. I will still say that is an awesome. These are awesome with those feather caps. I do love those feather caps. Anyways, that's gonna be the end of this video. That's just been my thoughts on all of the premium squad that should be in other campaigns. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.